So many purple colored. Question number 3. Purify Sdn Bhd. Can we look into this question?
Yes, madam.
Right, it's a Malaysian resident manufacturing company, 100% Malaysian owned, profit and loss year end 30th September
Madam?
2019.
Madam?
Yes,
Are you sharing the screen?
about to. Thank you.
Okay.
You can hear clearly, Ahmad, from there?
Yes, madam. It's lagging a little bit, but I can hear clearly.
All right.
Okay.
Where are you actually?
In Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay. All right, now we have question number 3. Can you see this?
Yes, madam.
All right. All right, your year end is 30th September 2019. You'll have a sales revenue, then cost of sales, gross profit, income from rental, interest, and other income, note number 1, 2, 3. You have staff costs, bank charges, entertainment, repairs and maintenance, lease charges, bad debts, professional fees, insurance, zakat, and donation, and foreign exchange. Given a profit of before tax of 1 million. Nice number. Right? So 1 million starting from profit before tax, then you have to do all the adjustment, taking into account notes given. Right? So now how you start? You start with your name of the company, Purify Sdn Bhd, tax com for YA 2019. Right? Purify. Is it Purify? Yeah. Okay. Can you see? All right, you start with profit before tax of 1 million. Say you do adjustment. You will go through all the notes to the account, so but glance through that those without the notes. For example, here you have your depreciation here without the notes, so you put in that adjustment first, otherwise you may forget later. Yeah. So what is the adjustment for depreciation?
Add back
Why you add back depreciation?
non-allowable expenses.
Why? Because why is it not allowed?
Non-taxable.
Not taxable. Wrong. Taxable is when we say that it's not taxable, you're referring to income. Income is not taxable, but expenses is not allowed. Why is it not allowed?
Not an income basis.
Okay.
Not
Sorry?
an income base.
No. Okay, how do you decide whether an expense is allowable or not? So you have to refer to section 33. Section 33 says that income, expenses incurred wholly, exclusively. Expenses outgoing. It means that you have to pay for the expenses, right? So expenses incurred, outgoing. Incurred, it means that depreciation is incurred, but it's just that it's not an outgoing. You don't have to pay for your depreciation. Depreciation is an allocation of cost. So because of that, right, it's not allowed under section 53. That's why you have to add back your depreciation, right? Similarly, for your loss on disposal of your capital asset, for example. Yeah, so that loss is a capital expenditure, so that's why it's not allowed. Because the one is allowable is only expenditure, which is revenue in nature, right? So you have to know the basis for your adjustment, so that you know that, okay, if I add back, why is it not allowed? So you go back also, what's the reason for the adjustment? So you know what you are doing, right? It's not that simply you add back and you minus. So the first thing is that you add back your depreciation 55,000, and then you go to your note number 1, you have a rental of 168,000. So the note number 1 says that rental income is from several offices, space owned by the company. The company is providing extensive and comprehensive maintenance and support service to its rental properties. So what does it say here? Right? You have a rental income, but in this case, is the rental income section 4A or section 4D?
4A.
4A. Why? Because they provide provision of comprehensive maintenance and support service. So that gives you a rental income under section 4A. But in this case, remember that you already have a sales revenue here, right? So this is another business income. So now you have two business income. One is from your sales revenue, and not clear what actually the company is doing here, but they have a sales revenue there. That is a business one, and now you have a business two, which is a rental income. Excuse me. So you have to, so means that now you have to take out this rental income, even though it's a business income, but you have to assess business income separately, business one and business two. So you take out your rental income from business one and then you put that under business two. Yeah, so how you do it? In order for you to take out your rental income, here you have added your income. So for you to take it out, you minus. So you minus your rental income and then business income is a separate business, right? So later you have to have, after your statutory income from business one, you see here, statutory income from your manufacturing business, right? And then, right, you will always have your rental income under section 4A. So rental income just now, how much is the total? 168. Remember, you have to take it out first, then only you add at the bottom. All right, and then later you see that you may have other expenses. Yeah. Okay, so that is your rental income, and then interest income, note number 2. Interest consists of receipt from customer. All right, whenever it's a customer income, means that that is from your business. So for that, you don't have to do, it's a business income. Yeah. And then fixed deposit is a section 4C income. So you have to take it out, 46,800, and then you assess that under section 4C. So what you do is that for your interest income, interest from customer is a business income, so you don't have to do anything. But your interest on fixed deposit, take it out, and then you're going to assess that under section 4C. So under section 4C later, once you have all the computation, you have to add on your section 4C income, interest on fixed deposit of 46,800. So don't forget about this interest on your fixed deposit, 46,800 at the bottom under section 4C. Is that clear so far?
Clear, madam.
All right, note number 3, we have other income. See, you already have a few ticks already. Other income here, you have compensation received for goods damage, right? So compensation received is an income, right? It's under other income. But you have to decide whether this income, is it a business income or a non-business income. So the income that you receive is because of compensation received for goods damage. So this is part of your business. Yeah, so it's a normal, so you receive compensation, so that is a business income. So once it's a business income, you are assessing business income, means that you do not have to do any adjustment on that 153,000. And the sale of scrap is also part of business income. So normally company, whenever, for example, in this case, the manufacturing company, all right, they have all these, so the sale of scrap will be part of the business income as well. So in the adjustment, you see that I think that no adjustment, right, for the compensation for goods damage as well as the sale of scrap. No adjustment, because why? Both of these income is regarded as a business income. Okay. Then you have staff costs, right? Entertainment allowance for directors. So if you have entertainment allowance for directors, is that allowable? So when talking about entertainment, there are two. One is 100% allowed, the other one is 50% allowed. 100% allowed means that everything allowed, you don't have to do adjustment. But 50% allowed means that the other 50% you have to add back. So entertainment allowance to director, whenever you see allowance under entertainment, right, is always 50%. So 82,000, so it means that you have to add back the balance 50%, which is not allowed. Yeah. And then you have childcare allowance to employees with basic salary below 5,000. Childcare allowance to employees, is it? Yeah, you can claim double deduction. Why? It's under childcare allowance, right? Because you see under double deduction, you do have this childcare. right? Childcare allowance, where you can actually claim double deduction. EPF calculated based on 20%. So you know that this 280,000 is 20%. So if 20% is 280,000, how much is allowed? What's the percentage of EPF allowed?
19.
19%. Means that 280,000 is 20%, means that 90% is allowed, 1% is not allowed. So how are you going to come up with the 1%? So kalau 20% is 280,000, you have to add back 1%, right? Because the difference is 1%. So add back 1% lah. So 1%, 280. Buat macam mana? 280 divided by 20. Is it? Right? 280 divided by 20%, so you get 14,000. So that would be your 1% portion of the EPF, and this amount is non-deductible because that is above 1%, above 19%. Right? So how you compute? If 20% is 280, then 1% is 14,000. I don't have to teach you how to compute this because that is maths, not taxation. Yeah. Okay, this one is a bit confusing where you have the expenditure under SLIM. Alright, so you have to look at this SLIM, alright, Scheme Latihan Satu Malaysia, where the government give out this scheme in order to promote those graduates who are unemployed. So we want to encourage company to take up those unemployed graduates to work with them. Alright, so in this case, the government says that for those who involved in this scheme Latihan Satu Malaysia, they are given double deduction on certain expenditure incurred. Alright, so what are the expenditure incurred? In this case, for example, the company provides training allowance of 1,200 per month for 8 months. So how much you pay there? Right, and then you have training expenses, food, traveling, and commercial allowance, fees for instructors to conduct soft skill training. So you have to go back in your textbook, look for the scheme Latihan Satu Malaysia. Do you have that in your textbook under business expenses? I don't have the textbook with me now. Can you look for under expenses or under double deduction? So they give you a list of expenses that you can claim as a double deduction. All right, look at it. Okay, let me see if we have here. All right, the training allowance given as a double deduction. So whatever the company pays, 48,000 given as double deduction. So you give double deduction, so you minus one more time. All right, training expenses, food, traveling, and accommodation. All these is given double deduction restricted to 5,000 per person for the items. So you have 3 items, right? 5,000 per person. How many person you have here? 5 eligible unemployed. So if you are given 5,000 allowable, double deduction is 5,000. So total expenditure that you incur is 10, 22.4, 8.6. So that is 31,000, 41,000. But out of this 41,000, you can claim 25,000 as a double deduction. So you get 41,000 as a single deduction plus another 25,000 as a double deduction. So it means that total deduction that you get is 41 plus 25,000. But what you show here is that because the company has already claimed this in arriving to profit before tax, so the double deduction, which is only the 25,000, or how you get 25,000, 5,000 for each graduate, restricted to 5,000 per person, right? And then 5,000 times by 5 students for 5 unemployed graduates. So you have 25,000 that is given as a double deduction. So that's how you do the computation for this scheme Latihan Satu Malaysia. So the company actually they already get that this as a single deduction, all right, in arriving to profit before tax. Then we give another deduction, 48,000 for double deduction, and another 25,000 for double deduction. Yeah. Okay. Question for this? Are you clear about how to compute this? No question? Clear? Yes.
For that training allowance, is there any restriction?
That's why the restriction is 5,000 per person. For the training allowance, no.
Oh, okay.
They give you double deduction. I don't have the book with me now, so I cannot check. But it seems that it's given. The training allowance given is allowed for double deduction. If you have your textbook, maybe you can check further. I'm not
Sekejap
sure
tak
if
jumpa lagi.
you still have that 2020 in your textbook, Slim. But this one is for 2019. Yeah. All right. Then you have the bank charges. All right. Bank charges, transfer fund to supplier in China. So that is a business expenditure to supplier. Bank charges for transfer of fund to acquire a business. So to acquire a business is no longer a normal business. Yeah. Acquire a business in Vietnam is a capital expenditure, right? So capital expenditure is not allowed, so that's why you have to add back 7,900. And then charges paid to bank for credit card transaction. So this one again is a normal business transaction. Staff annual dinner, all right, is allowable, but wedding gift to major customer, not wholly exclusive. No, yeah. Everything is not allowed because given business, all right. Hope that the customer will remain loyal to the business. So macam apa, rasuah lah pula kan. It's a bribery kan. Right, so it's not wholly exclusive income in the production of business. So it's not allowed everything. Sponsorship for customer annual dinner in the form of cash. Customer dinner, annual dinner. Sponsorship cash is not wholly exclusively incurred. So you don't sponsor your clients annual dinner, yeah. And then lucky prizes, no business logo. Again, this one I think that no business logo on the prizes, so this one is a 50% allowed, yeah, because this one top 3 lucky draw puzzles. If it's a logo, then it could be allowed 100%, but this one no logo, so you can only claim 50% of that. Right, and then you have food entry for potential customer. This one is related to sales. In note number 7, when talk about maintenance, normally you have to see whether is it a revenue in nature or is it capital in nature. If capital, then it's not allowed lah. So maintenance of rental, see note number 1. So remember that this rental properties is your business one already. So anything to do your business, not business one, your business 2. Yeah, rental from your properties. Now, if anything expenditure incurred for that, you are going to deduct that against your rental income. Yeah, 53,400. So means that you have to add back first in your tax com, then you deduct against your rental income. Right? So what you do is that for your repair and maintenance, you add back 53,400 because that one is not expenses incurred for the business one, but that one you are going to deduct against your business 2. Here, 53,400. Yeah, so you deduct against your gross rental income here. Then maintenance of PPE 128,300 maintenance. Yeah, maintenance is a business revenue expenditure that you have to incur regularly. So that's why whenever you have a maintenance, the expenditure is allowable, but this one is against your manufacturing expenditure, so that's why it's a nil. Renovation work to convert a store in the factory into a childcare center. Alright, this childcare center, so remember that renovation work is a capital in nature, so that's why you add back. Once you incurred these, then you convert that into childcare center. Remember, childcare center is also an industrial building, so later you claim industrial building on that figure 373,600. Yeah. And remember, when it's a childcare center, check what is the annual allowance and the initial allowance. Purchase of microwave, 300 is very small value, so you claim that as a revenue expenditure. Right, small value asset, sorry, it's not revenue, it's a capex, but small value asset, it means that you're going to claim capital allowance 100% on that later. Yeah, you add back first and then you claim later as your capital allowance. So you see that you have capital allowance, microwave, but small value asset you claim. But for a factory building, yang mana ni the factory level. Ni renovation, childcare center ya. So you have a different computation for that. So you do that later when you compute your capital allowance. Okay, bad debt. When you look at bad debt, you have to look whether is it a trade or non-trade. If it's trade related, then you allow that, right? So that's why no adjustment. But it's a non-trade debt, then you have to add back because it's a non-business expenditure, so it's not allowed. By talking about allowance, all right, general allowance is not allowed, but if it's a specific allowance, no adjustment. Okay, and then you have a lease charges, a saloon car, right? Saloon car used for the company CEO. So the information is that the cost of the car is 340,000. So how much is allowed? Leasing.
50,000.
50,000 only. So you have to compute, all right, when you started in June 2018, all right, until now is September 2019, how much have you claimed for the lease rental, right? If it's still below 50,000, it's allowable, but anything above 50,000 is not allowed. So from June 2018 to September 2019, how many months? June to September 2018, June, July, August, September is 4 months plus another 12 months. So it's supposed to be 16 months. You get that? So for YA 2000, what is it? Saloon car. Right? So you have YA 2018, which is from June to September. You have 4 months. June, July, August, September. So that is 4 months. YA 2019. Month, right? So total is 16 months. And then monthly you pay 6,000. So how much is the total? Right? It should be 96,000. So how much can you claim? You can only claim 50,000. Means that the difference is that the excess is not allowed, right? So the 46,000 is the excess of the lease rental that is not allowed because you can only claim 50,000. So means that the excess, how much? The 46,000 here is not allowed. So you have to add back that 46,000. Anyone not clear about this lease rental? Better get it because normally there will be question on this lease rental. Anyone? Okay. So far so good? Right?
Yes, madam.
Okay, but lease payment of land, where's the land? Land here, see note below. The company had a 50-year lease with another 30 years remaining period. The company renegotiate the lease term with the landowner to make it more favorable to the company. After a series of negotiation, the landowner agreed to revise term of which the company managed to save 100,000 annually. To compensate the landowner, the company agreed to give a lump sum payment of 180,000 to the owner. So the issue here is that compensation to one is the lease rental, 240 should be allowable, right? But the lump sum payment, 180 is not allowed because there is a capital in nature. Okay. Right, then we have professional fees. Professional fees, normally you have to see whether the expenditure incurred, is it for trade purpose or business purpose, or is it for non-trade or capital in nature, right? So legal fees incurred to collect trade debts is nil because it's a business expenditure. But tax agent fees, you have to see whether is it for tax planning or is it for tax filing. For tax planning, all right, what it says here is that 60% for tax planning, balance is for tax filing. So the tax planning portion is not allowed. So from the 135,000, you have to add back 60%, and the balance 40% for tax filing is allowable. So you pick up, all right, tax filing. All right, tax planning, which is the 60%, is 81,000. 80% of 155,000. All right, it's non-deductible, but then the tax filing we only allow up to 10,000. So the balance 44,000 is not allowed. All right, so tax filing we only allow up to 10,000. So anything excess than that is not allowed. So in this case, you have to add back 44,000. Apa ni? From that 135,000, you have to compute what is the 60% and what is the 40%. The 60% for tax planning, everything is added back because that is not allowed. But the tax filing, 40%, you can only allow 10,000 ringgit. Anything above or excess has to be added back. So that's why you have your adjustment in such a way, 81,000 and 44,000. And then you have expenses certification from for halal certification is always double deduction. And then cost to acquire proprietary rights is a capital in nature, right? Proprietary rights is capital in nature, so you have to add back. So halal double deduction, but then proprietary rights you add back. But the law says that 20% deductible for 5 years. So what you do is that from this 150,000, all right, the law says that you can claim over 5 years period, 20%, 20%, 20%. Previously, it's not allowed. All right, previously, proprietary rights as capital in nature is not allowed. But now they say that, okay, you can claim 20% each year. So over 5 years period, the whole 250,000 will be claimed. So 250,000 times by 20%. So how much is that? Why 20% is 200,000? 250,000 times by 0.2, which is only 50,000. Why is this 200,000? Oh, I see. So 250, 20% is allowable, means that 50,000 is allowed. The balance 200,000 you have to add back. So that's why you add back 200,000. With this, Azrin Camelia, are you here? Saidatul
Yes,
Najiha.
madam.
Oh, you are there. So do you understand why you add back 200,000? Huh? How you add, why you add back 200,000? Azrin? Are you here?
And is it because 50,000 can be claimed for that year?
Yeah, because the total cost incurred is 250,000. So 50,000 is allowable, which is 20%. So the balance at 80% is not allowed lah. So the balance 80% is added back first, right? That's why you have that adjustment of 200,000 add back. Okay. All right. Insurance, burglary, and fire on the office. This one is on the spaces rented out, which is the rental property. So how much is the insurance here? So you have note number 11. The amount is 81,000. So that 81,000 deduct against which income?
Rental income.
Rental income. But before you deduct against rental income, you have to add back dulu. Right? Where is it? You add back 81,000 because this one you have to take up from the manufacturing expenditure. Take up first, you add back, and then only you deduct against your rental, which is higher fire and insurance 81,000. Okay? So I like this question where you have two different sets of business income. Zakat, all right, cash donation to government through Harapan Malaysia. So you have to add back first and then deduct against your approved donation at the bottom against your total, against your aggregate income. So you add back 188,800 and then you later you deduct against your aggregate income. Yeah, because donation to government, everything is allowable. There's no restriction. But the second one is that business zakat 60,000, you have to add back first and then deduct against your aggregate income. But the zakat is restricted to 2.5% of your aggregate income. So your aggregate income, whatever amount here, you just time by 2.5% or 0.025. All right. So the amount that you pay 60,000, but the amount deducted is only 50,000, 5502. Yeah. So from here you have a total and chargeable income. Oh, dah habis ke belum? Belum Sekejap lagi. Forex. Alright. Forex, there are the two types of forex. Forex realized and unrealized. Alright. The unrealized, kena tengok juga whether it's revenue or capital. Unrealized, whether it's revenue or capital, both are not allowed. But in this case, it's a gain. Kalau loss, they add back. Kalau gain, dia minus. Right? Ahmad Sharif. Is it Ahmad Sharif? Ahmad Hussein.
Yes, madam.
You understand this?
Yeah. For unrealized, we should, yeah.
Yeah, bila unrealized, you can have, when talking about forex, you have gain or loss. Loss is an expenditure, gain is an income lah. Yeah. So, but when it's unrealized, it's not allowed. So, bila not allowed, expenses, loss, you add back. But gain you minus. That's why here you have unrealized gain from purchase of raw material, even though raw material is revenue in nature, but because it's unrealized, then you have to minus. But if it's a loss, but in this case loss, even though it's realized, but it's from capital. Purchase of machine is a capital in nature. Even though it's realized, it's still not allowed. But if we say that it's a realized from purchase of raw material, is that allowable? What if I have foreign exchange loss realized from purchase of raw materials? Allowable or non allowable?
Allowable.
Allowable. So if allowable, then what will be your adjustment?
It will be nil.
Nil. All right, so that's good. So that's your forex. Yeah, I think that for forex is a bonus marks. All right, you don't have to think a lot. You just understand that there are two types of forex. One is unrealized, the other one is realized. Unrealized is not allowed. So if it's a loss, you add back. It's a gain, you minus. But realized depends. If it's a revenue, then it's allowable. But if it's capital in nature, then you have to add back, not allowed. Yeah. So from here, you have adjusted business income from your manufacturing. All right, then you minus your capital allowance from your factory building. Where do you get this factory building? You are given the factory building here. Acquisition or completion date. That means that factory building you can claim annual allowance of 3%. Office building, see note number 1. I think that office building related to your rental income. Furniture and office in office building, which is also, so this one is regard to your rental income. Yeah, rental income. A machinery which is bought in 2016 means that you're going to claim 40% of that. Yeah. Factory, you have a 3% of that 1240, and then machinery 14% of 84,000. Sorry, 600,000. Is it? K71, which is K. So you have here, all right, this is the qualifying expenditure. Right, 1240, machinery 600,000, 14% is 84,000. So that's how you compute your capital allowance, right? You can show it separately here, do the computation and then transfer that amount to the computation. Yeah, so you have that factory building, machine and microwave oven just now 100%. Renovation of childcare, remember that childcare center, there's no IA, but the AA is 10%. All right, then you have statutory income from your business. Then from your rental, you have your income minus expenses, adjusted income minus capital allowance. Right, capital allowance furniture in office building, where is it? Furniture in office building, 84,000. All right, office building here, right, even though it's a building, right, you cannot claim capital allowance, or you cannot claim initial allowance, or you cannot claim industrial building allowance on the office building. Why is that? Right, why you cannot claim initial industrial building allowance on the office building? Anyone? Because office building is not an industrial building. So that's why you cannot claim industrial building allowance on the office building. So that's just, right? And then you have capital allowance on furniture only, and then statutory business from your, so once you have two business income, you're going to add your aggregate statutory business income, means that statutory income from business 1 and statutory income from business 2. So you add these two together, then you have aggregate statutory income. Yeah, and then you add your interest on fixed deposit, and then you have your aggregate income less your donation to government and business zakat. From there, you have a total or chargeable income of 1.78. All right. So that's conclusion on your question number 3 on Purify, I think. So which part that you are not very clear? Right. I think that the
Madam?
question, yes.
Donation for government, it's like there is no restriction in donation for government.
Sorry, I don't get that.
Yeah, here the company make donation for government. Okay, so there is no restriction of a specific percentage.
No.
Okay,
You,
madam.
you give to government give you everything. They
Okay.
want to encourage, right? If you give donation to government, then everything is allowable. Right? There's no restriction, 20% or what. But it has to be in cash.
Okay, madam.
In benefit in kind, they can also consider that and then value the value that. Anything else? Right, if you don't have anything else, I think that's all I want to cover for today, right? Because I want you to give you a group exercise. Okay, I want you to do a group exercise, a group of 2. So you may find your partner, all right? If you don't have a partner, then look now, right? You just list down your name. Those without partner, list your name in the class list, and then anyone just put their name in a pair, right? 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So you know that who your partner is, right? So with that, I give you your group exercise question number 2. I want you to do in a group of 2. Right, question number 2 is on green lights. I want you to submit in your answer, right? Each group by 5 p.m. today, right? So you have about another 30 minutes, all right? You can do this and submit before class ends, right? So that you don't have to wait until 5 p.m. to submit. So I want the answer for this green lives neighborhood. Please submit in your group Google Classroom assessment, right? I will put it there under assessment, under section 2. Please submit it over there. Okay? Understand? Question?
So, Madam, question 2, right?
Yes. Green lives
Okay.
neighborhood. I don't want to see, oh, I don't have group member, I don't have group members. You just list down your name in the group WhatsApp, and then you see your member will come in, right? Automatically. So you put your name 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So you know your partner already. And make sure that you know how to contact your partner. Okay? So if you don't have any more questions, I give you the time. If you can submit immediately before the class ends, that's better, so you don't have to take up time. Please fill up your attendance form as well. And I will see you inshallah next class with your new topic. Yeah? Sorry. Next class new topic, then Friday is your midterm one. Is it? Yeah, industrial building, all the allowances. Yeah. So with that, I thank you again, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, madam.